All right, and we are live here on YouTube for the Bank of America Roval 400. Welcome on in. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day. It is cut race time in the NASCAR Cup Series, and we are getting set for an action packed race. There we go. Oh, and Jonathan Taylor for the Colts just scored another touchdown. Let's go. But yeah, we are just chilling out here, getting ready for this one. Racing, so they just fired the engine, so we should be good to go here shortly. Welcome on in. I just got to finish adjusting one or two more fantasy lineups that I forgot about because I have like 7 of them for different friend groups and stuff. Boom. Go with Allmendinger because Allmendinger's solid. Maybe not a winning contender, but hey, if he can get us a solid top 10, I will be more than happy with that. Alright, so welcome on in, though. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Again, thank you guys for spending a portion of your very valuable Sunday as we are getting ready for the Cup Series field to go from 12 drivers down to the final 8. After today, only 8 drivers will remain. And the question is going to be who gets it. Yeah, let's go ahead and fade him on this roster. Alright, there we go. I think I've got just one more roster and we will be here and ready for this one as cars are rolling onto the track for to take the green flag here for this race. Welcome on in. I think I have just this one left. Alright, so there we go. We are set up and ready for this one. I just finished adjusting my fantasy team. If you guys want to play in the fantasy league on our community fantasy league, there is a link in the top at the top of the description if you guys want to take part. Probably not enough time for you to get a lineup built for this week, but hey, there's still several weeks left, and I believe it should automatically register you for next year as well. So, yep. So my team, though, I have Reddick, SVG, McDowell, Allmendinger, Gibbs, and Chastain. Not a lot of high-powered ones, but considering this race is typically a bit of a wild card, I'm not ruling out the potential that we could see a very wacky finish or even a very wacky overall result. So there we go. Got everything nicely lined up, and we are ready to go. All right. So again, we got cars rolling onto the track. Again, Chastain versus Logano is the big storyline here, but what may become an even bigger storyline is these 3 guys even further down below the cut line. Tyler Reddick, most notably, Cindric, and Bubba Wallace. The 3 of them, if any of those guys win, they are in, despite being 29, 30, and 40-something points below the cut line. Entering this race, Cindric has not had a good round. He sits in a guaranteed must-win. Bubba Wallace almost certainly in a must-win. And then Tyler Reddick, I don't know for sure that there isn't a potential points day that he could have if, say, both Chastain and Logano find each other in turn 1. That he could possibly find a way to advance on points, but starting from the pole position, it's probably gonna take a win, and he's in a good spot to start from it. So Reddick won the pole over SVG, so we'll see Reddick and SVG rolling off from row 1 as they start the down to the grid. Then we got Ty Gibbs, who just celebrated a birthday alongside Kyle Larson on row 2. Row 3 is Buescher and McDowell. Good luck to McDowell here, one of my boys. Then we got Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Bell and Briscoe in Row 4. Row 5, Allmendinger and Chastain will round out your first 10 spots. Then we got Blaney, the previous champion, 2 years ago's champion, alongside Bubba Wallace. Byron and Hamlin, 2 drivers still looking for their first championships, will start alongside each other back in row number 7. All right, so there we go. We're set up and ready for this one. Hopefully you guys are excited about this. Again, we got a lot of racing still to go. They just went and listened in on Byron's crew chief a bit. Might have even done a in-car interview there real quick. But yeah, again, continuing with row 8, we got Chase Elliott and Ty Dillon, honestly, 2 pretty decent road course racers. Then you got Joey Logano, last year's champion, trying to fight for his life to survive the cut race. And behind him, you've got his teammate Austin Cindric, who's in a must-win spot, starting all the way back in row number 10 is not going to be a good situation for him. Riley Herbst, despite qualifying all the way up in 23rd position, having to go to the rear of the field after he almost flipped his car in qualifying. Shock and surprise, there might be some adjustments needed to that car. Kyle Busch, another disappointing qualifying result here for the 8 car. Ryan Preece was a surprisingly slow qualification attempt. He'll start alongside Noah Gragson in the number 4 car. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so again, we got 7 people hanging out in chat. Who do you guys think's going to win? Would love to hear your guys' opinion. Do you guys think it's going to be do you guys think that today is going to be a SVG beatdown, or do you guys think we're going to see something a little different? Do you guys think we're going to see, do you guys think maybe we'll see someone like a Reddick be able to win and get his way into the playoffs? Do you think maybe someone like a Mike McDowell or Allmendinger, someone who, we kind of had chalked in that they were going to win at least a road course race with the amount of them. Then SVG was like, yeah, no, just write me in for all those. Or almost all of them. And so, I will say, that's got to be one of the weirdest things, because after the first road course race of the year where he just looked average, to go from being average at COTA to being lights out the fastest road course driver some of NASCAR's ever seen is just insane. So there we go. We checked in, got our points, and yeah, they're gonna go down through the corners, so we can learn which corners are which. So the hairpin is turn 7. So we got 6, which is the curve right before the hairpin. Okay, turn 6. Yeah, turn 6. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we aren't using that layout. We're using the red layout. Okay. So the bus stop is turns 10, 11, 12. Then oval 3 and 4 is 13, 14. All right, so again, we are chilling. There we go. 4 top 5s and 4 top 5 finishes for McDowell in the last 9 road course races. That's pretty good record, honestly. And again, big part of why I'm rooting for McDowell today. I think he's gonna have a good shot here. Love to see him go ahead and dominate this one like he did at Chicago earlier this year. Wasn't able to win the pole for that event, but he did get out ahead of SVG and was able to control the first bit of that race until he had an engine problem. There we go. Ty Gibbs led the most laps of all drivers who are still winless, which is an interesting stat to have. Not a stat you necessarily want, because you want your name on that winners list at some point, but he's done an okay job, honestly, in that. If we think of him as the 4th Gibbs car, I mean, yeah, you'd like to see him win a race and get into the playoffs, but and I say for him to be leading on a ton fair amount of laps here. And being able to contend for wins is pretty good. So right now, SVG at 4 straight road course wins, looking to try and make it 5 today. 6 would tie. So next year at COTA, assuming he wins today, he'll be able to go for to try and tie Jeff Gordon's record next March at Circuit of the Americas. Again, a long way between here and there. We got 109 laps of racing. Lights are off on the pace car, so we are expecting to see the green flag this time by. But yeah, SVG settles into the second position on the inside of row 1. As Tyler Reddick, the pole sitter, will elect to start in the outside lane. Mainly because I think that that outside lane actually gives you the inside lane for the turn right before the start-finish line when you so you'll be on the inside when you actually hit the throttle. It does leave you on the outside for turn 1, which is a little unfortunate, but if you can get clear before you get to that point, then who cares that you started on the outside if you can get clear before the turn. Alright, there we go. And again, yep, Logano 13 points ahead of Chastain, entering the cut race. And for what might be one of our final cut races here at the Roval, because again, NASCAR has been talking about how there are how format changes, including a potential return to a full season championship, is not off the table here. We got the cars doubled up and ready to go back racing, but yeah, they've said a full season points format is not off the table for next year. Green flags out. We are back to racing. Personally, I don't think we see a change until 2027. I think leave it the way it is for this year. Maybe some minor change, like reverting it from a winner-take-all race at the finale. Yeah, and just reworking how the rounds work, but I think it'd be pretty hard to... Oh, come on! Kyle Busch out into the wall and looks to be possibly beached. Nope, he's going to get back on. But damage on lap 1 for Kyle Busch, and his car looks killed. Oh, come on. But yeah, they've, again, I think reworking how the rounds are, in particular reworking that, single race winner take all at the end, I think would be a good rework and a kind of baby step before going full 36 races, especially where you've already gone and sold a lot of these tracks on, hey, you're going to have a playoff date, you're going to have a cut race date. Might be a little bit harder to justify to them, hey, Martinsville, you're not going to be a cutoff race anymore, but you'll be a part of the championship round. I think you could sell that, but regardless, they're working their way down the back straightaway here as lap 1 has progressed. Kyle Larson has Ty Gibbs all over his rear bumper looking for the 3rd position. But yeah, just seeing another replay of this crash with the number 8 car, just Kyle Busch. Yeah, all by himself it looks like. Just collides that wall and KOs his number 8 car, which is just a absolute shot. You hate to see him shoot himself in the foot like that, because that is going to kill his day. So, and again, Reddick has been able to clear for the lead. SVG has settled into 2nd. And again, Larson still holding off Gibbs, Buescher for the battle for 3rd. Michael McDowell settling into the 6th position. Briscoe, Bell, Allmendinger, and Chastain all kind of just filtering into the positions that they qualified in, roughly. Maybe a spot up or a spot down here or there. But the only battle side-by-side right now is the 2 Joe Gibbs teammates between the 20 and the 19, and they sorted it out amongst themselves as Bell lets the 19 of Briscoe in line before they go ahead and head down this back straightaway towards the bus stop. There we go. Say nice and neat and orderly through the bus stop, as you would expect out of teammates. Although expectations for Toyota teammates, I feel like have been all over the place these last couple of races. And yep, there we go. Kyle Busch straight to the garage. Lap 1 incident for Kyle Busch, and he is gonna pull it literally straight to the garage here. as they complete lap number 2, starting lap 3. Again, Reddick holding SVG at bay so far. And I say the top 9 cars are the only cars that remain within 5 seconds of the leader. And that's the weird thing about road course racing. You do see much larger gaps between the cars than you see at any other track on the circuit. So, but yeah, the Charlotte Roval, though, 109 laps today, 25 laps in stage 1, 25 laps in stage 2, and then the final 59 laps in the final stage. Here we go. Big dive up the inside for SVG. Tries to arc the corner. The 45 runs wide, but the 45 with the run off the top end using the banking from the oval. Tyler Reddick able to hang on to that lead, but SVG cuts the lead in half with that move. So SVG cuts the lead to within half and shows that he's willing to make a bold move here very early in the race to try and take that lead. And let's say bold moves sometimes are what's needed to make passes here at the road courses. So SVG proving he is not afraid to chance it here early to try and get this lead. Which also means you gotta prepare for that. Oh no, Josh Berry blows the bus stop and forces Cody Ware to also have to do a stop and go as they both miss the corner. Yeah, all off of Josh Berry's mistake there. So again, Reddick and SVG. This is going to be an interesting battle throughout this early portion, but as per usual at the road courses with the stage cautions that are guaranteed to bring out caution flags, the racing, at least for the lead, doesn't really start to become overly important until you get through that second stage. Until this, it's fairly important to have the lead throughout the stage, but when you get down to the end of the stage, if you're not going for points, you're absolutely hitting pit road. So when we get to lap 23 or 22 or 23, I think it'll be interesting to see who all pits, because I think that'll really help define where guys like Reddick, where guys like, well, we know where some of these guys stand, like Logano and Chastain. If they stay out to try and get those stage points, we know where their focus is in terms of earning points. If they pit, we also know. And here we go, side by side, SVG again trying to force the issue, this time through the front chicane, and he pulls off the pass for the lead. New leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, takes that pass. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where some of these drivers, obviously some of them have very noticeable points leads heading in here. Like, if we look at the playoff standings right now, like, what Briscoe does. I'm kind of curious to see what Briscoe does. Because, again, Briscoe has a good points lead over the cut line, but if he were to stay out and earn those points, he could lock up even more points and put himself even further ahead, potentially. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We got 10 people hanging out in chat already. Again, feel free to let me know who you guys think is going to win. Do you think it's going to be... And say, there we go. We have it confirmed. There is a points method for Reddick to make the playoffs. As of right now, running second place with the fastest lap award in his pocket, Reddick would have enough points by 7 to make it in over Logano for the next round of the playoffs. Logano and Chastain, only 2 points separate those two if we were to have, if Reddick were to drop a bunch of spots. But at the moment, Reddick looks very strong. Not enough to really keep overly close with SVG, as SVG is starting to just take off running here. But enough to avoid losing some spots to the rest of the NASCAR guys, so... There we go. Looks like they're sending us to our first commercial break of the race. Alright, so there we go. Yep, we go to commercial break here. Reddick is starting to get massively gapped by SVG, as SVG is just in another league all his own, it feels like sometimes. Oh, man. Alright, so again, right now, SVG, say Reddick's starting to have Larson creeping up on his rear bumper, so kind of curious to see how Larson treats him. Obviously, I think Larson would probably, I don't know, would Larson rather have Reddick? I guess as a competitor, would I rather be racing Reddick in the next round or Logano? Probably Reddick, honestly, because I think, but I think getting the Penske cars out of here as quick as possible. One, I don't particularly like Penske, so that is probably a factor coloring my opinion of this. But like Penske's really good at the flat ovals, and you got two of them in the final three race. You got the final two races are both flat ovals that Penske's really good at. I think you want to get. Yeah, I think you'd rather have Reddick in there than Logano if you're a neutral competitor. All right, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Again, just working their way around here. Reddick hanging on to the second position still, even though he does not look anywhere near as fast as SVG out in front. I guess we're going to extend that lead, looking like it's about 2 seconds a gap now. Oh, another touchdown for Jonathan Taylor. Let's go. Do. All right. And here we go. Oh, here we go. Allmendinger looking to try and make it 3 wide with the two Gibbs cars here as he takes Briscoe and Bell 3 wide there as they came off the front stretch chicane. And he clears them both. 2 for 1 deal at Kmart there. There we go. Yeah, AJ Allmendinger able to make a 2 for 1 pass there. Now Ross Chastain looking to try and see if he can make that same move work. AJ Allmendinger definitely a better road course racer than Chastain, but that's no knock against Chastain. He is a great driver in his own right. Like maybe a little bit of water on the windshield, nowhere near enough to necessitate the rain tires yet. But again, this pack from second through fifth is really tightly packed. You've got Reddick, Larson, Gibbs, and Busch are all right under a blanket. All of them about 2.5 seconds off the back of Shane Van Gisbergen at the moment, though. As Larson goes and attempts to make the pass here on Reddick, and Larson's going to complete the pass on Reddick. Here comes Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs now trying to pass Tyler Reddick. And oh, there we go. A little bit of a lockup on the brakes, but Ty Gibbs ultimately chooses not to overly challenge the position for Tyler Reddick and will allow Reddick to cross the line in third. Again, I say if Gibbs had tried that, I think he would have just wiped himself and probably Reddick out of that one. So smart choice to back off and not anger the Toyota executives anymore. So showing Larson's finishes by round, he really struggled through the first round, but he's come alive in this second round. 2 top 10s, leading to a very good points run so far. Yeah, but yeah, Reddick right now only hanging on to a 4-point lead over Joey Logano as he continues to slip further and further back. Again, the fact that those stage points are there as well, you want to be able to get as many of those as possible. And say you're going to need to finish better than third at this point. I mean, finishing an average of third, sure, that could get you there, but you continue to drop like you are currently, you got to be aware that every point you can get now is a point you don't have to worry about it later. So here we go. we are chilling. Say 9-10 laps into this one, getting close to the end of the first stage, and oh no, Austin Cindric overblows the corner and is going to go ahead and drop himself down a bunch of spots there as he rejoins the field just ahead of Justin Haley. But there we go. Logano starting to eat into that points gap himself. By actually passing cars as opposed to just waiting for Tyler Reddick to run out of steam and start to drop back. And speaking of guys running out of steam, two guys who definitely have not done that is the two Gibbs drivers. Oh, no, sorry, that's a replay of the three-wide incident. Christopher Bell threw an amazing move to try and get around his teammate. And ultimately, he did do that. It was just at the cost of both of them losing a spot to the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. And then there's the 45 kind of missing the apex of the bus stop, which allowed Larson to sneak through when, ultimately Reddick ran a little bit wide because he ran too narrow early. And, oh! No, the two of Cindric going around as well. That's not even the initial thing that I saw when he rejoined the track. He got spun out again, which is just another lump on this Austin Cindric season so far. I mean, Cindric would love to be a part of this playoff picture, but as of right now, I'm not sure he'll have a spot in the next round at this rate. Here we go. We got our first driver hitting pit road. It looks like it is the 99 of Suarez hitting pit road very early, if I may add, in terms of his, in terms of trying to be on pit road. But I mean, being on pit road early isn't a problem necessarily. It just means that you'll have worse tires for the next stage. But if you can make it from lap 10 to lap 50 on the same set of tires, more credit to you. Alright, so there we go. Again, we are chilling here. We got Cindric hitting pit road after he got his tires flat spotted by the spin. No real shock and surprise that he's going to be coming to the pits and getting a fresh set of tires. The 66 of Balicki also missed the corner when he did and had to do a stop and go in the runoff area. So, go. And we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. The fact that Cindric has had a 30th place run and a run in the teens in both rounds at this point, it just goes to show how much harder it is to get to that round of 8 than it is to the... Oh, and here's a wave of cars coming to pit road. We're literally halfway through the stage, and we've got Briscoe, Blaney, Elliott, Byron, Ty Dillon all hitting pit road. Most of those drivers not really needing to worry about points, so I would imagine that they would have just waited till the very end of the stage. Bowman also on pit road, so 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars are on pit road. Half of the Colleague cars are on pit road. That's now 2 of the 3 Penske cars. So yeah, and then half the Legacy Motor Club cars also on pit road. So again, a lot of cars coming down pit road, and I don't really understand this strategy of pitting in the middle of the stage. I mean, you can make 25 laps on a tank of fuel, I would assume, because that's how they normally do the stages. If you can't make it 25 laps on fuel, great. That makes this stage a whole lot more interesting. But yeah, I would imagine you can make 25 laps on a single tank of fuel and a single set of tires. And again, if you can't, that would make this race a lot more interesting if you're going to have to pit in each stage if you want to make it to the end of it. I think that would actually make for probably a more interesting way to do stage racing at the road course if the stages were long enough to where you couldn't just green flag run it the entire way. And say, I mean, even if you wanted to just add a rule that hey, you have to make a 4 tire stop at some point during the stage and just do mandatory pit stops. I know it wouldn't be popular with every fan, but here we go. Ty Gibbs, McDowell, Bell, Chastain, Hamlin, Logano, Nemechek, Stenhouse, Herbst, and Barry. A lot of cars coming down pit road at the midway point here. I am really starting to wonder about this potential. Is 25 laps just too long for the stages? I say, or are these guys just trying to get on pit road before SVG so they can be back on track and running to try and cycle out ahead of SVG for the second stage? Because that wouldn't be a bad strategy, but I still think you're way too early because I don't think SVG comes until probably about lap 22, 21, 22 at the earliest. And there goes Gregson going to run wide as a whole host of cars on fresh tires are all going to be running right by him here. Penalty, say the penalty report says John Hunter Nemechek too fast entering. So John Hunter Nemechek will be going back down pit road for a pass-through penalty. That sucks. So there we go. Say Suarez trying to get by the 4 of Gregson to try and take advantage of this fresh rubber while he can. But yeah, we have again SVG dragging this one out to almost a 5-second lead at this point over Kyle Larson. 5-second lead, but he has not taken the fastest lap award away from Reddick as of yet. Then you got Busher, Allmendinger, Bubba Wallace up inside of this top 10. Zane Smith, Cole Custer, Haley have entered the top 10. Who's the first driver who's pit already, I wonder? Is it going to be, it's probably going to be someone like Bell or Briscoe or someone. Let's see. As they finish the rotation, it is going to be Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is the first driver on track who is already pit. So Ty Gibbs potentially looking like he might be able to take a race lead, which would be insane if he could go ahead and win this stage like this. Again, I am, and here comes SVG. So SVG is going to make his pit stop here eventually. And here comes Larson going to follow him down pit road. Alright, so there we go. SVG, Larson, Allmendinger all on pit road now. Reddick as well, I believe, also coming down pit road. Nope, looks like never mind. Busher, Reddick stay out as well. Alright, so again, maybe we'll have to reevaluate. Because if they can't make it 25 laps in the stage, that would be really interesting here. Custer, Haley both jumping on pit road as well. Allmendinger only a 2-tire stop as his 2-tire stop was starting too long. Alright, let's see again. Right now we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. 15 laps complete. Say working lap 15 here, 11 to go. Alright, there we go. Again, Busher, Reddick, Bubba Wallace, the top 3. All 3 have not have stayed out to this point. They're going to go to commercial break. I'm going to run a quick ad and I'm going to grab some water and we'll be right back, guys. we are back from commercial. So we're back from our break. Should be back from the TV commercial here shortly. And yeah, again, we've had a lot of drivers coming to pit road. Right now, Buescher, Reddick, the only two who have stayed out to this point. Bubba Wallace has also stayed out, but he has actually now been passed by SVG on the track, which is insane. And Briscoe making a bold 3-wide move up the inside on some guys. Whoa, what was that? That was Zane Smith, and not sure who the other car in picture was. Possibly Brad Keselowski, the other car involved in that one. And that is an insane move for... Yeah, so Brad Keselowski checks up Blaney around the outside, then Zane Smith checks up the 99 of Suarez. Suarez swinging wide to the outside. 4 wide on the inside goes Briscoe. Ends up leading to some contact between the 38 and the 6. And here we go. Everybody's cycling back around here. We've got ourselves a race. There we go. All right, here we go. We got, just contact there between the 19 and just sends those two into each other. So there we go. They got doing some fan cam stuff, which, hey, you got some excited fans in the stands here. Of course, with it being NASCAR's home race, you'd hope that there's quite a few excited fans in the stands that you can find. 8 laps to go. These drivers still have yet to come to the pit road. And again, I think, at least in terms of Reddick, I could see him maybe just staying out the whole way. Bubba Wallace, maybe. Although I think Bubba Wallace, he's dropped all the way to 9th. At this point, there's no reason to stay on the track if you drop outside that top 10. And Bubba Wallace now drops to 13th. Yeah, there's no reason for Wallace not to pit here. As long as your numbers say that you won't fall off the lead lap. Zane Smith and Keselowski have dropped to 16th and 20th, despite not having pit yet. I think at that range, you're in the range where you are going to lose your lead lap status if you pit. So you probably do have to try and nurse it home. But Buescher, Reddick, you guys, Buescher especially, I don't know why he hasn't pit yet. Again, SVG is doing such a good job. He is still not taking the fastest lap award away from Reddick. But there we go. Through that front stretch chicane, that's where he passed him last time. And that's where he does it again. SVG back to the lead. So Shane Van Gisbergen back to the lead. Chris Buescher will SVG not back to the lead yet. SVG is second. Buescher still hangs out in first. About 4 seconds up the road, but SVG has been extremely quick at running people down. So we'll see if he can catch Buescher by the end of this next lap. All right, so there we go. Again, we are chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. 7 laps to go in this first stage. It has been an incredibly quick stage here. Honestly, road courses in general do feel like they go by extremely quick because you don't have a whole lot of laps. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Yeah, again, 6 laps to go here. Buescher hanging on to the lead. Here comes SVG to the back bumper of Buescher. Buescher not really looking like he's going to be putting up much of a fight. Lets SVG have it through the hairpin and follows him right off the corner. So there we go. Alright, so again, we're just chilling out here though. SVG takes the lead back. They go to a commercial break with 6 laps to go in the stage. I mean, I get it. Laps are going to be a minute, but yeah, 6 laps to go in the stage definitely feels like now 5 laps to go in the stage. It feels like a weird time to be going to commercial break here. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. It's 4 laps to go. They're back from commercial break, and we are ready to go. All right, so now with Reddick having dropped back significantly after his pit stop there, because Reddick must have come for a pit stop. Now the playoff battle is Chastain 10 points above Logano for the final spot there. And here we go. Here comes Busher and a bunch of other drivers coming down pit road with 3 laps to go in the stage. Going to come in right before the pit road closes. So here we go. Busher, Allmendinger. Is that Blaney back on pit road? Yeah, that's Blaney back on pit road again. Reddick back on pit. Okay, so maybe Reddick didn't pit. He just continued to drop, and now he's making his pit stop. Alright, so there we go. Bubba Wallace also on pit road. Nemechek. Cindric coming down pit road as well. Alright, let's see. Again, we're just trying to work off this one again. SVG having a 5-second lead here. He is almost certainly going to storm to a stage win here. And Chastain, though, top 5, could earn some stage points. Logano inching his way further forward. Cindric back on pit road as he's going to need to throw the Hail Mary and try and win this race by some means, and he's going to try something out here. All right, so there we go. 2 laps to go here. SVG continues to storm. He's now 7 seconds out in front. Larson, Gibbs, Bell, McDowell's hanging on to a 6th place finish, which is not a bad run at all. Again, a lot of people making some pit stops here. I'm curious if anyone could run it the whole stage, but yeah, there we go. Man, some people are idiots. Alright, so here we go. Final lap is underway. Again, Larson this race is it is very spread out here, and again, the fact that SVG is just decimating this is also probably making it a lot less interesting because of the fact that a lot of these guys are having to punt and going for it. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Down through the front stretch chicane, it is going to be Shane Van Gisbergen taking this. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that was backstretch chicane because their camera angles are awful. Come on. A wide camera shot. It is not that hard to figure out. So here we go. Now down to the front stretch to take the stage 1 victory. Shane Van Gisbergen, an 8-second lead, a dominating stage win there. Larson and Gibbs going to come across the line now. 2nd, 3rd. Bell 4th. Ross Chastain in position number 5. Then we got McDowell, Briscoe, Elliott, Byron, and Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon's going to hang on for a stage point. Let's go. Ty Dillon gets a stage point. Let's go. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out. Hopefully everybody's having a good time here. Let's see. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Currently under the stage 1 break here. SVG just completely crushed this stage. Larson, Gibbs, Bell. Again, Denningham on the first driver to miss out on points there. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Oh, and Tua throws a touchdown to Jalen Waddle. Let's go. Alright, let's see how my fantasy team is doing here. Jalen Waddle 20 points. Are you kidding me? I will take that. I will take that for show. I have almost won that league. Yeah, I can almost stamp that one as a win. Let's see, what about in the work league? All right, let's see. Yep, I think I'm winning that matchup. Joe, so even with the Philly defense only being a 7-8 point defense. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Currently under the caution flag. They're coming back from commercial break. And we will be seeing pit stops here probably for the end of the stage. Although, again, I don't really understand what's going on with this pit strategy for the drivers pitting. If somebody's listening to the broadcast and they've explained why the drivers all pit very early in that first stage. Alright, so there we go. And we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, we got 8 people hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for everybody that's spent a portion of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here with us as we're getting ready for this one. Alright, here we go. Coming down pit road. And a lot of guys coming. Looks like Allmendinger might be one of a few that are staying out. SVG, SVG, Larson, Bell, Chastain, all hitting pit road here. Chastain, one of the first guys to hit his pit box. Getting 4 tires fuel done, 11 seconds on the dot there for Chastain. Much slower pit stop than we normally expect. We're normally looking for, yep, there we go. Bell, 10.2. Larson, 9.6. There we go. And Shane Van Gisbergen, they're going to take their time a little bit. 10.4, a little, second slow or third slowest on that one as they come off pit road. 10 drivers staying out. Chastain overdrives the exit of the thing. But yeah, here we go. 16, 17. So we got Allmendinger, Busher, Blaney, Suarez, Bowman, Reddick, Custer, and Moore staying out. There we go. Alright, so again, we're just chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Okay, we put up 40 points on the, okay. Wow, can't believe the Colts actually managed to put up 40 on the Raiders. I knew they'd be good today. I assumed that we had to win, but yeah, there we go. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, though. If you guys do enjoy these streams, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new again. As I will say, I won't be upset to be back on the ovals, but next week, and for the remainder of the season. But yeah, this is definitely yeah. Say if SVG could just relax, this would actually be a very fun race, I think. All right, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time, though. Again, this race is it's been all right. Again, it hasn't been the most exciting of things, but not every race has to be. Yeah, there we go. Colts win. Game's over. The Colts have won. Let's go. Oh wow, Justin Fields actually finally woke up and earned some points, and yeah. All right, let's see what happened to Chastain here. He just gets carries way too much speed and just locks up the brakes, exiting the pits and overshoots the turn out of the pits. Almost like he forgot that he wasn't at the oval. Because yeah, he just started heading back out onto the oval, and there's a big wall there. Alright, well, I'm just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Yeah, again, that was just a bit of a lapse of focus there for Chastain. Started to just muscle memory into doing it the oval way, and well, this isn't the oval. I'm trying to think, is this the only road course on the schedule that has a bend in that bend like that in pit road where you could end up thinking you're going the wrong way? I think it might, because Sonoma's bend is still, while there are pit boxes, so there's nowhere else to really go at Sonoma's pit lane. No. The one at the Chicago course is all on one side of the track. There's not really room to go anywhere else, so might be as we get ready to go green flag racing here. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of AJ Allmendinger and Chris Buescher. Blaney Suarez, Bowman, Reddick, Custer, Bubba Wallace, Nemechek, and Cindric staying out and claiming these top 10 spots. Really curious to see what SVG does on this restart to try and gain some spots here. As they come off the corner, and yeah, here we go. SVG pulling out of line, possibly before the start finish line. We'll have to wait and see if that was a legal move. If it was, good job on him, great timing. But if not, at least per the normal rules of the ovals, pulling out of line, I know before the start finish line is usually not approved. But here we go. SVG already looking up the inside of 3 wide, trying to make some passes here. Kyle Larson looking to follow him through. Kyle Larson might even be looking to try and make a move on SVG himself here. So here we go. Kyle Larson certainly trying to stay close to SVG to maybe try and challenge him into the hairpin here as they head down through 5, down through 6, heading towards 7 here. Not able to get Larson not able to get an angle on SVG as SVG ended up on the outside of another car here through the on the outside of Cole Custer here as he heads back up onto the oval portion of the track. Alex Bowman in the way there, as Bowman is one of those guys who stayed out at the conclusion of the stage. There we go. Again, right now, SVG doing everything he can to try and cycle through these cars, trying to pass as many of them as he can. As he comes up through the field, he's up to 6th. And next on his list is going to be Tyler Reddick, the driver he lost a 3 laps led to early in the race. All right, so Kyle Larson's officially advanced on points. Bell's still looking for confirmation. Him, Byron, and Hamlin should all be good based on the amount of points above the cut line they are, but I guess mathematically they aren't fully safe, depending on exactly what happens. But yeah, again, right now Briscoe having a little bit of instability there with Josh Berry all over his rear bumper, trying to make a pass, and Eric Jones all over the rear bumper of Berry's car there, as Michael McDowell trying to make a pass on Cole Custer here. There we go. Coming off of that hairpin corner is a really sketchy place to be trying to make passes. It's one of the more effective places to make a pass here, but it does not make it any less sketchy here. Bunch of the drivers running those pink window nets, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know. They raffle those off, and the proceeds go towards breast cancer research. So that's a pretty honorable cause, and I love seeing the pink window nets for the drivers at this fall this fall Charlotte date. So there we go. Reddick does still hold the distinction of the fastest lap of the day, though, which is kind of impressive, honestly, that he's managed to hold on to that despite SVG's dominance. So there we go. Man, Ty Gibbs on Bubba Wallace. A little bit of contact there. Again, these Toyota battles have not been the most cordial this last week and a half, 2 weeks. Toyota looked borderline unbeatable in the first 3 races of the playoffs, and then Ty Gibbs just kind of Ty Gibbs, when he was blocking Denny Hamlin, which led to Denny Hamlin dumping him, really seems to have set off a chain reaction. Then obviously at the end of the Kansas race, you had Denny Hamlin and his failed power steering trying to win the race for himself, end up collecting up knocking Bubba Wallace way out of the way and making enough room on the bottom for Chase Elliott to sneak through and take the win away from Toyota. Yeah, it's been a very big turnaround for Toyota from how that first round went when they went win with 3 different drivers. right, so here we go. Oh, we got some smoke out ahead of Chastain. Not sure if somebody locked up the... Oh, yep, there it is. Austin Cindric locks up the brakes, and everybody's kind of scattering around him. Yeah, right at the exit of the hairpin there. It looks like Carson Hocevar also making a stop and go stop and go there. Not sure if he missed the corner or not. Oh, it was actually Hocevar initially who missed the corner, looking for an escape route, and just KOs the 2-car. The 2-car just gets completely KO'd. It wasn't Cindric's fault at all. I mean, you guys know I'm not the first one to defend Cindric usually, but he did nothing wrong there. Hocevar just locks it up right there and manages to wipe out Cindric. Could you imagine if he had wiped out Ricky Stenhouse Jr. instead? Because those two already have some beef from earlier in the year when those two were getting into each other. Could you imagine if Hocevar went and did that again? I'm pretty sure Stenhouse would have remembered real quick that, hey, look, Hocevar's back at it again. Or imagine if that had hooked, say, Ross Chastain, who was right there behind watching all this happen. That could have been bad. Again, Hocevar just driving in way too deep. Yeah, slides in, KOs the 2-car. Nothing the 2-car could have done better to try and avoid that one. That was just bad timing, bad luck, and just getting clobbered. Again, Chastain, great timing to not be in that wreck, which is just, again, one of those things where sometimes you need to get a little lucky to win. Yeah, there's Hocevar's on board again. Hocevar actually not losing a ton of time from that move, which, again, makes it almost look worse than it otherwise would have. But yeah, here they come down pit road. Both of them coming down to fix damage as, it looks like Hocevar ended with a flat tire there. Cindric having to fight his car to avoid crab walking when trying to drive in a straight line. So both those cars pretty well junked, at least in terms of trying to win any sort of race or stage point. So goodbye to Cindric. He is out of any shot to win this one here. So there we go. Again, we are chilling here. All right, so there we go. They're getting to work. They're going to work on the number 2 car here. That playoff cut line battle, though, Reddick continues as he is inside the top 5. Reddick continues to put pressure on Joey Logano in the number 22 car. Currently, Reddick would be the first driver in if Logano were to have a slight problem. Chastain hasn't been bad. He's just been worse than Reddick up to this point. So, it makes it important. Makes these stage points very important to go ahead and get them when you can. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Oh my gosh. Miami is losing. Wait, whoa. 1 second. NFL football might be going crazy here. NFL games. Let's see. So the Saints are going to beat the Giants. That's insane. We already mentioned the Colts beating the Raiders. Panthers are looking like they could beat the Dolphins. That's insane. Cowboys dominating the Jets. I'd seen that when I was up grabbing my water earlier. Broncos and Eagles is a very close game. An 18-17 defensive showdown here for the Broncos Eagles. No real big surprise. Those are two of the best defenses in the league. Not surprised to see their offenses struggle a bit. the Texans put a 40 pack up on the Ravens. Oh my gosh, the Ravens are awful this year. I mean, again, I know that they didn't have their quarterback, so I'm not ruling out that. I'm not saying that the Texans' defense is that good that they held them to only 10 points. But the Ravens' defense should be good and just gave up 40 points. Oh my gosh. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time, though. Titans, Cardinals, and Seahawks, Buccaneers have both kicked off as well. But we are, again, under a full screen commercial break, so we literally can't tell you what's happening, even if we wanted to. And SVG is back in fifth. Wait, what happened to SVG? All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. So we got all the Kyle Busch fan still with a smile on his face. You can tell he's defeated because normally you wouldn't be smiling about a result like this. Although he also knows that there's a fan cam right there. But yeah, here we go. We're back from commercial break, and yeah, SVG back a few spots. Why is SVG just not taking the lead back? I thought he had taken the lead. Maybe I was just misremembering, but yeah, AJ Allmendinger has led the last 10 laps in a row. Yeah, no, I guess, SVG just hadn't made it back all the way up there. So good on Allmendinger for being able to maintain this lead. You got Blaney in the mix too, Busher, Suarez. All these drivers who did not pit at the stage end. I guess the strategy may have worked out actually pretty decently for them to pit halfway through the stage. Speaking of which, we are entering the halfway point of this stage. Are we going to see more pit stops like that, or are we going to see a complete crazy shot here and see them not go and change anything? Let's see. But yeah, we are just chilling out here again. Logano back in 16th place, just trying to hold off cars to try and hang on to a shot at the playoff at advancing through this round of the playoffs. Came in with a 13-point advantage. He is still hanging on to an 11-point lead, so he hasn't lost a ton as it currently stands, with Chastain back in 20th and Reddick only in 8th place. But again, it has been a very weak showing for Joey Logano today. We've barely mentioned him outside of just trying to defend for points. And here we go, Ryan Blaney making the pit stop once again to try and gain track position here for the run to the end of the race. All right, so there we go. You have 14. Say 14 laps in here. Again, these. Oh, Logano. Did Logano come down pit road? How did he lose so many points? I looked down for 1 second and say like, okay, yeah, Logano must have pit. Yeah, he and Reddick both came down pit road when I looked down for a second. All right, so there we go. Oh man, this race is definitely a little drier than it should be, but so far everybody's just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. SVG's moved up into the third position, continuing to try and put pressure on. Although he's still 2 seconds back of Allmendinger. Wow. And say literally the second I say that, he closes right back in. It's now a 3-car race. You got Allmendinger, Buescher, and SVG battling it out at the front of the field. All right, so again, Logano and Chastain, those two are in a close battle for points. If Logano can just stay moderately, can just run moderately good inside the top 20, he has a pretty good shot to hang on to that one. Meanwhile, Reddick needs a massive day. He needs a top 5, top 10 type day to be able to get the win there. So it'll be curious to watch here. Again, we're just kind of seeing a lot of different strategies, which is actually very interesting from a viewing perspective. There's a lot of different strategies, a lot of drivers on different strategies here. Again, you got Allmendinger and Buescher, who are both on the on this kind of weird alternate strategy, while SVG is on the run the race normal strategy, and he's doing pretty well as well. So far, I don't think there's a clear winner of the two strategies, although I think SVG might be about to try and prove me wrong with that AJ Allmendinger pick, which reminds me, I gotta go check my lineup before things get shuffled up too much, just so I know who I'm taking out. All right, let's see. Do I bench Ty Gibbs or do I bench Reddick? Because Reddick so far today has not earned a stage point, so there's no guarantee that he actually holds on to anything. Ty Gibbs has already secured 8 points no matter where he finishes. You know what? I'm going to leave Chastain where he is and just bank on the fact that I think this strategy might work out for Reddick. It's a bold strategy, but somebody's got to try it. 9 laps to go here. SVG, Buescher out in front of the field. Allmendinger is just on pit road, so he is going to be cycling back to the back of the pack here for a bit. But yeah, we got ourselves a pretty good race going on here. Yeah, looking forward to the new NASCAR game as well. That's something I'm really excited for. We will definitely have some gameplay here on the channel. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so you go side by side here. Again, SVG is just an absolute machine when it comes to these tracks. As he crosses the line, he has a 3-second lead over Kyle Larson, who just passed Chris Buescher for the second position there. Takes second from Chris Buescher, clears him. So now Kyle Larson can try and Kyle Larson with a bit of a diving move there to try and get by Buescher. Just how it is sometimes. He left plenty of room, didn't jeopardize Buescher's car at all. Very nice and overall clean pass there for Larson. Credit to him for that. Reddick back up into the 14th, now 13th place as everything's starting to cycle back around for Reddick to get back into a decent position here. All right, so there we go. Again, we got 8 laps to go, 8 more times around here. Let's see what we got. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? All right, NASCAR Xfinity Series ad. Is that going to be the last ad before we go back to the full screen product? I don't know, but McDowell having a really nice, very quiet top 10 day. I mean, he's just been running 6th almost all. Any chance you've looked at the scoreboard, there's a good chance McDowell was in 6th. Which is really funny, just seeing how consistent they've been. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's see. What do we got? It's like Christopher Bell making a pass here on Buescher. Seems like Buescher might be reaching the end of his tire life here. While Logano continuing to claw back in this game against Chastain. Reddick continues to, even though Reddick's back up into the top 15, knocking on the door of the top 10 without those stage points. Reddick still 18 points out. And again, the tire life on these drivers, they are all at about 17 to 22 laps on their tires, aside from the guys who have already pit. Blaney, Reddick, Allmendinger, the top 3 who have already come to pit road, currently in 8th, 8th, 10th, and 11th. And again, we got Byron chasing down the back bumper of the one car of Chastain. They're both on the same. Those two are on the same strategy. So again, I love the strategy racing. I think this is really interesting to watch, as we got drivers on all different strategies, trying different things. Blaney, working out a bit for Blaney and Reddick there. Allmendinger getting up into the top 10 as well. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Again, SVG, Larson, Bell, the front 3. Again, I don't think there's much surprise in this top 3, really. I mean, the only real surprise in this top 3 might be the fact that Christopher Bell hasn't really looked like himself recently, although he did get that Bristol win and honestly wasn't terrible in the first round of the playoffs either, but I mean, Bell's been good on the road courses recently. Larson hasn't been unbeatable at the road courses the way he was in the late Gen 6 car, like in 2021 specifically. He was untouchable on the road courses. And even in 2022, he was decent. But again, between the emergence of SVG and everybody else getting extra time with the next gen car, Larson's just kind of evened right out there. 5 laps to go in the stage, and it looks like they're going to send us to. Please don't be a full screen commercial. Please don't be a full screen commercial. All right, I will take side by side. Side by side racing here. We got Ryan Preece getting up into the top 10. Good on him. Not sure if it'll be enough to try and make a actual difference, but okay, what on earth is going on with Tyler Reddick? He lost a spot to AJ Allmendinger, who is now gone and gotten by Justin Haley. Yet Reddick hasn't been able to pass Haley or Allmendinger. Allmendinger makes sense. They're on similar strategies, and I believe Allmendinger might even have a few lap fresher tires than Reddick. But Justin Haley, you should be able to stay close enough to have been able to pass Haley at the same time. So there we go. 5 laps to go here, though. And say 5 laps to go at the Charlotte Roval for the race win. I will say if the ticket data shows that this race needs to go back to the oval, I won't be overly happy about it. I hope that they will still move a road course into the playoffs for 2027, but because as we know, this race is still, I believe, already confirmed to be on the road course for next year. So we at least have one more Roval race to enjoy after this one. So here we go. 4 laps to go. Here we go. Coming down pit road. Not sure which driver this is. It looks like it's William Byron. William Byron coming down pit road. So we got Byron on pit road getting 4 tires and fuel with 4 laps to go in the stage. Again, the rest of these drivers, if they come to pit road, it'll be interesting to see what the strategy ends up being here. And more so, I'm curious to see how it ends up working out for some of these drivers, because in the short run, some of them might look like a bit of a loss, like giving up stage points. But getting this track position at the end, that's interesting. Oh, man. So again, right now we know guys like Allmendinger, Blaney are hoping not to have to pit at the end of the stage, or they're hoping to earn enough points by running up through the field here that they can maybe make some of their own luck here. Here we go. Yep, here comes Bell and several others to pit road. So Christopher Bell, Buescher, Suarez, Allmendinger, McDowell all coming to pit road here. I think Allmendinger realized that, hey, maybe we're not on the right strategy for the win here, guys. So I think your race winner is going to come from the group that is going to pit before the end of the stage. So, again, it's a big group. Bell, Suarez, Buescher, Allmendinger, Preece, McDowell, Haley, Keselowski, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Hamlin, Bowman, to name a few. Josh Berry, Gregson, more and more joining as by the second. Here we go. Here comes Zane Smith off pit road, onto pit road as well. Austin Dillon, probably not. Dillon's probably not your race winner. Neither are most of these guys, but yeah, I think your winner is going to be on this strategy. SVG, Larson, I believe, are probably both going to be on this strategy. Question is, Reddick's not close enough to jump on this strategy, but maybe getting those extra stage points will help him ensure himself and give him an opportunity to win get the playoff spot without winning. Here we go. Here comes SVG hitting pit road. SVG hits pit road. Where is his pit box here? That is going to be the interesting thing. Does he pit after crossing the start-finish line? Larson able to jump to pit road. And it is going to be 2 laps to go. Pit road is closed. Not enough time for Reddick to sneak onto pit road there. Reddick and Blaney both miss out on a chance to get to the pit road. So SVG, Larson, the last 2 drivers to hop on this strategy of pitting before the stage ends. 2 laps to go, and now they get to rejoin and try and see if they can also get some stage points. So again, Reddick, Blaney out in front, 1, 2. Then we got SVG run 3. All right, so there we go. Again, we're working our way through this one. This race has actually been a lot better than I think it's going to look on paper. A lot of it's just coming down to strategies and how well you can follow the different strategies that all the drivers are on. Again, you got the 2 stoppers, you got the 3 stoppers here. And again, right now you got the SVG making his way through this one. All the way up into 3rd place and going to see if he can gain a few more spots. Reddick, the fact that Reddick in 2nd is not able to be ahead of Logano in points tells me that there is a real chance that he doesn't get this one. Briscoe now showing below the cut line. Are you kidding me? Chase Briscoe is currently showing below the cut line by 6 points where he currently runs. Can't imagine he'll stay there, wherever that is. But yeah, we are just waiting to see this one. Let's see. Again, Reddick doing a great job at running up inside the top 5 here. Final lap of the stage here. Say Ryan Blaney it. The white checkered flag will be coming out next time by stage end. And let's see. Again, it's Blaney Reddick SVG. Here we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Would love to hear from you guys. Who do you guys think is going to win this stage? Would love to hear from some of you guys and your opinions. I'm going to stick with my Allmendinger pick, despite the fact that it's not looking all that great right now. All right, here we go. Final lap here. Blaney wins the stage. Reddick 2nd. Elliott 3rd. Chastain's going to come through 4th for Chastain. 5th, SVG. 6th, Larson, Bell, Logano, Suarez, and Cole Custer earning the final stage point. There we go. Alright, so there we go. We're going to commercial break. I'm going to run and use the bathroom real quick, and we will be right back, guys. Alright, there we go. We are back, and we are ready for this one. So, still a commercial break here following the completion of stage number 2. There we go. Let's see. Alright, so here we go. We're coming back from commercial break. We're getting ready for this, what will be the final stage here. And say Tyler Reddick doing some work here with some group, and yeah. Here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright. Yeah, welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time here. Looking forward to next week when we've got Vegas. I'll be here for both Xfinity and Cup Series race for the Las Vegas race weekend. Let's say we got Xfinity on Saturday at what time slot is that in? Since it's the West Coast race, it might not be a simple. It's a 5:30 start time for Cup, and it's 7:30 at night on Saturday. Okay, it's an interesting to have a night race here. We got all right. Here we go. Pit road's open. We got cars coming down. We got some cars staying out. Looks like most of your leaders coming down pit road. Again, I don't really understand this whole strategy thing because this time SVG stays out. We'll get the as per usual, and we'll take the lead this time. Last time it was Tyler Reddick and Blaney who pulled the strategy that ended up with them out front at the end of the stage. So I'm not certain that this strategy works here. 19 different drivers staying out. Too many for them to list, but Reddick will win the race off pit road over Elliott, Chastain, Logano, Custer. Blaney losing 5 spots on his pit stop. Then you got Ty Dillon and Eric Jones coming out right behind him. So a bit of a rough start for Blaney here through this one, but there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and skip around to ads for you guys. And yeah, we'll be getting ready for this one. They're at a commercial break. Let's go ahead and look at the. Let's do an NFL update real quick since most of the games have wrapped up here from the early slate. We did have the Vikings beating the Browns. We had Cowboys beating the Jets. We had the Saints beating the Giants. That one was a little bit of a surprise there. Colts beating the Raiders by with a score of 40-6. I was stoked about that one. Panthers held on to take out the Dolphins. That's great. Yeah, Broncos hold on against the Eagles, which is incredible there. Texans put a 40 bomb on the Ravens. And then for your 4 o'clock games, we got the Cardinals, who are up 14-3 over the Titans. And we've got the Buccaneers Seahawks, who are currently locked in a 3-0 battle. The Lions are up have struck first blood as they go up 7-0 over the Bengals. And the Chargers jump out to a 7-0 lead over the Commanders as well. So, quick little NFL update as we are just waiting out this commercial break here under a caution flag, so you guys are not missing anything on the NASCAR track. SVG, Larson, Bell, the front 3 to stay out here. There we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. And again, as I said, I noted it, AJ Allmendinger. I think he identified he was on the wrong strategy and he jumped it down. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. But yeah, we are just waiting this one out, waiting for them to come back. They're coming back from commercial break right now, so we'll be getting into this one. But Almaneer and McDowell both being in the top 10 is going to be a fun run for me. Hopefully they'll be able to stay there or even improve. And I think it'd be really exciting if SVG doesn't dominate this final stage, but again, we've seen it when he has track position. He is extremely tough to beat. It's not exactly rocket science to see. Okay, he's probably going to win this. He's probably going to get the lead and dominate the final stage here. Alright, so again, they go to yet another commercial break. Thought they were just coming back from one, and they're already back at another one? Come on. Go racing. Man. Well, I guess this gives me a chance today to get some stuff on the desk that I hadn't gone and put away yet. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, yeah, we got 11 people still hanging out in chat. Thank you for everybody that's decided to spend a portion of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here with us as we are getting ready for this one. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. So yeah, again, we're still at commercial break. You guys are not missing a thing. Let's see, what time does baseball kick off tonight? MLB. Blue Jays game is going on right now. Let's go. Blue Jays are up 2-0. Let's go. Take that, Yankees. Sir, birds are taking you down. Let's see. What are the other games that we got? Only 2 games today? Wow, that's weird. For a Sunday, I would have expected you to have an early, a mid, and a late game. I guess each team each one gets a day off, game day off, game day off because the Blue Jays and Yankees don't play again. Get a day off between this game and the Dodgers Phillies have today off. So also I heard the Brewers were killing the Cubs. Let's see, what was the final score of that game? 9-3. It was. That's not nearly as bad as it sounded. Yeah, so yesterday they had 4 games that were going on yesterday. Here we go. We're back from commercial break though. Bell has officially clinched his spot on points. Let's go. Good. Nope, not that one. That one. All right, so here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Shane Van Gisbergen and Kyle Larson as they get ready to go racing. Green flags out. We are back to racing. All right, so there we go. We'll get that fixed later, but here we go. Again, SVG down into turn 1, takes the lead. Bell able to take second away from Larson. There we go. Logano and Chastain locked in a 1-point battle here as they are going down for the restart. Obviously, there's going to be positions changing left and right. Right now, it's a dead tie, 1-point advantage Chastain. Here and there, it is a nail biter down the stretch here. Back to a tie game here. All just depending on where Chastain is in relevance to Logano here. As we got a major stack up here into the hairpin. Logano on the outside of, I believe, 3 wide there. And, focusing back in on that battle for the lead. Christopher Bell is trying to take the fight to SVG. He's not going to stand by idly and wait for SVG to jet off to a lead. He's going to try and stay as close as he can and see if he can actually challenge the New Zealander for the lead here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, NASCAR's home track. Because if there's any track that they should be able to have a pretty good advantage at, this would be the track. Since clearly it wasn't Sonoma, because Sonoma is somewhere that NASCAR's been racing at for 2 decades. 3 decades, really. And SCG had never seen it before. That should have been the track that was near impossible to lose, but they lost there pretty handily for SVG. Now it's like, okay, what tracks can the NASCAR guys still compete with SVG at? And hey, who knows? Maybe in a year or two, some of these top road course guys in the Cup Series can try and get close to SVG's level, but again, it is so hard to be on SVG's level in any way, shape, or form. But so far, Christopher Bell's been able to hang very close with the 88 of Van Gisbergen here. There we go. SVG runs wide up the hill, trying to use that banking. Comes down the track to block the 20 car. The 20, though, right there on that bumper, continuing to put pressure. And the fact that he's been able to stay this close tells me that, hey, maybe he does have the car. Challenging into the bus stop goes Bell. As they trying to get door to door there, could not get there, but stays extremely close and continuing to put on immense pressure on the 88 car as they return to the banking, trying to shove the 88 up the track. Door to door, wheel to wheel. Christopher Bell, SVG, down into the front stretch chain. SVG able to clear once again, but Bell just put on a heck of a fight there to try and take this one back for the NASCAR guys. And with all that fighting near the front, Kyle Larson's been able to stay pretty close as well. So there we go. Again, a lot of contact was required to get beside him, and to get, especially getting door by door. But again, normally by this point, SVG has a 2-3 second lead on whoever he's racing in. Up to this point, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case here as AJ Allmendinger up into the 4th position. Way to go, AJ. And here comes Daniel Suarez trying to jump up the inside on. Oh, come on! No! Oh, we were having such a good battle, and Austin Dillon goes around. Caution flag flies. Yep, there it is. I was going to say caution flag. I wasn't sure if it was for that or for something else, but yeah, there it is. Caution flag flies for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon goes around. Caution flag is out. We are back here. There were caution flags back out. There we go. Yeah, they want to go fix the wall is going to be their excuse here. But yeah, that easily probably could have just been a local yellow. Because I can't imagine that. As I say, it's not like that's the wall that separates turn 1. So if somebody were to go barreling in there at near full speed, they could go ahead and do it. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. But yeah, we're enjoying this. Hopefully you guys are too. Right now I'm going to go ahead and try and get the stream synced up here in just a moment. Alright, when we switch commercials, I will go ahead and get the pause in. Again, we'll be back with the, let me just double check chat. Okay, nope, no messages missed in chat. Alright, so there we go. Oh, am I... Okay. I'm completely confused on where I am. In terms of caught up or not here. Give me 1 minute, guys, because... I seem to have totally different commercials on my TV versus my, thing. We had the same commercial, I thought, but... Yeah, now we got some Grim Reaper chasing a guy through the woods. Okay, it's a Columbia ad. And on this one, we got K-Pop Demon Hunter Fortnite combo. Yeah, I guess we'll have to sync it up during the caution period. Alright, well, we'll just chill out here until then, but hopefully everybody's having a good time. We got 17 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. We got... Alright, and we got drivers. Alright. I'll be really stoked if my TV screen's ahead or if they're already perfectly synced up and I could have been grabbing clips the whole time. Okay, I know. Annoying. My TV's usually never behind my thing. Let's try. Give me 1 second, guys. I know I can fix this, so just give me 1 second to do so. As we got pit stops occurring, we got Bubba Wallace, William Byron on pit road getting their service done here. Alright, so yeah, we are just behind on the TV screen. Head away from Bubba and Byron here. We'll pause it. See where we're at. There we go. That's pretty... Okay, that's pretty perfectly synced. We are good. Alright, so there we go. Synced up. We are ready to go. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about this one as we are. Again, we got a fun strategy race going on. We got AJ Allmendinger realizing he was probably on the wrong strategy and jumped ship from the from the Tyler Reddick strategy over to the Shane Van Gisbergen leader strategy. So smart choice there is to go ahead and get that one done. But there we go. And now we're back to yet another commercial break. Everybody's favorite. Gotta love commercials. All right, let's see. What about if we refresh our football games? Any updates there? Nope. Buccaneers are up to 6-0. Nope and nope. So all the other games are exactly the same score as they were a few minutes ago. We're breaking them down. All right. Oh boy, my dad's not gonna be happy about that. The fact that he had Javonte Williams on his bench, who, I mean, granted, his two running backs didn't do terrible, but yeah, put up massive scores there. All right, so there we go. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, we're coming back from commercial break, and we will be able to keep this one going. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, they're sending out a crew to go ahead and check that wall where Austin Dillon hit. Let's see what exactly all transpired. So a little bit of contact. Ooh, someone. Yeah, not sure which car we're on board with here, but yeah, just shoving Zane Smith off, and then assuming maybe this is Austin Dillon we're on board with. Yep, we're on board with Austin Dillon. Yeah, he just crashes in there. Yeah, wanting to make sure that tire wall is good. Although the tires, honestly, everything looks good. And again, it's not like that wall doesn't have another 25, 30 yards worth of yard that it can go into. So, yeah, the wall could move significantly if by some miracle those concrete barriers and the tires aren't enough to hold them. But I don't know. I don't think we needed a caution. I don't think we needed a full course caution for this. I think you throw the local yellow, let Dillon get back going, send a guy out. Send a guy on the infield section of the track to try and examine the wall best he can. Give and or get a drone in there or some other camera to try and get a good visual on it, and then decide whether or not you need to throw it. But now let's just throw the caution for because it's more entertaining. Yay. Yep. Alright, so there we go. Alright, lights are out on the pace car. They are going single file through the mostly through the bus stop, and then they are getting right back out to double file. We'll be getting ready to go back racing here shortly. As I feel free to hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the stream. Again, we have been enjoying these races up to this point. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying them still. As we get ready to go back racing here, we got just under, or we'll have just over 40 laps to go when we go green, I believe. Just over 40 or just under 50? I'm not sure. Here we go. Pace cars off, filled in the hands of SVG and Christopher Bell. We got Larson and Allmendinger, row 2. Row 3 is where we find Buescher and Michael McDowell as we go green, green, green. Green flags out. We are back to racing. And here we go. SVG on the outside line. Christopher Bell doing everything possible, trying to hang on that inside line all the way to turn 1. Forcing SVG to take a little bit of a wider arc through turn 1, but he manages to make it happen. Kyle Larson going to try and follow through on the outside to get by Christopher Bell. Here we go. Michael McDowell bailing on that on the Christopher Bell line. Bell going to try and get in line. Now we got Buescher side by side with A.J. Allmendinger, cars 16 and 17, dueling it out side by side. And again, these restarts have been incredibly close, especially now that we actually have Christopher Bell, who I think is willing to and able to challenge SVG. Now that Bell's back to second, back from second to third, I'm curious to see if that trend continues. If we see him be able to gap Larson the way he's gapped other drivers before. Again, here we go. The battle down into the bus stop. SVG looked beatable on the last restart. Again, it took some effort and it took a bit of contact, but SVG did look beatable when Christopher Bell was behind him, trying to hound him down. Now, again, can Christopher Bell go ahead and hound down Larson and try and pass Larson back? Sure, he probably can, and hopefully he can get around him, but you don't want to see an intense battle between the two of them allow SVG to escape. Because at that point, SVG, once he gets going, it is hard to reel him back in. Again, I believe this race is I believe the playoff battle at this point is just gonna come down to Chastain versus Logano. Chastain currently 2 points above the cut line. Logano 2 points below the cut line. So yeah, there we go. So far, in the road courses other than COTA to start the year, he led 60 laps and won Mexico, 26 laps and won Chicago, 90-something laps in Sonoma. I mean, yeah, he's dominated almost every road course we've gone to, except for COTA for whatever reason. And there we go. Kyle Larson forces his way by SVG. We got a new leader in Charlotte. Larson to the lead. And now Christopher Bell to second. Christopher Bell door to door, side by side with SVG, heading down towards the front stretch chicane here. He's going to muscle his way up to second. SVG back to third. The NASCAR guys establish some dominance here. Making some contact, and now Kyle Larson in the lead of the race, looking for his first win since May. Since early May. That is insane to think that Kyle Larson's been winless since May. Again, until a couple weeks ago at Bristol, Bell hadn't won since his 3-race win streak in March. So, I mean, I'd say these winless streaks do happen, and I would love to see Larson's end today. But here we go. SVG, you've got Allmendinger, McDowell, Buescher, all three right behind him as well. I'm kind of curious to see if one of those guys might start to put the pressure on now that we've seen that SVG is passable. See if any of these guys might try and go for it here. Again, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, now they're going to try and be the ones to escape here and drive away. Tyler Reddick still has the fastest lap point, which is kind of strange to think about. The fact that Reddick has gotten the fastest lap point during that first 3 laps, and nobody, including SVG, has been able to take that away from him. Bills Patriots tonight. I will not be streaming that game as 1, I don't have graphics done, and 2, I'm not confident that game is going to be good. So there we go. But yeah, Allmendinger though up to third. McDowell up to fourth here as he gets by Chris Buescher after a hard-fought battle here. Buescher going to try and battle back up the inside into turn one. Not going to get there. So Michael McDowell is able to beat his mirror image there with the 17 versus 71 battle. But yeah, here we go. We got ourselves a really good battle going though. Again, Larson Bell both able to get away from SVG and trying to gap themselves. Again, if Allmendinger can go ahead and keep close with SVG, we can maybe see a fourth car get added into the mix. And again, now that McDowell's up to fifth, who's to say McDowell can't get up there and contend here? There we go, going to commercial break here. 65 laps in, it looks like, and we are, going to a side-by-side commercial, so we'll at least be able to see what's happening on the track as it's going. But again, this race has actually been it's been a really good race so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Again, if you guys are enjoying it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and guys news, guys are missing future videos or live streams. So let's see again, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, SVG. Hey Dave, how's it going? Sounds like they want to sounds like they want to get rid of Penn State's coach. I won't, but there is talk. Oh, you mean you wouldn't if you were in that seat? I don't know. I don't watch enough college football to know. Specifically, I don't watch enough Penn State football to know for sure. But I have heard that from a lot of people that coach is specifically not very good in big games, and to lose a game that you should have had that shouldn't have even been much of a contest. I do think some major changes needed at Penn State, but the real question is just going to be what change do you make when you haven't lost that bad. So there we go. Oh, Kyle Busch and Riley Herbst, a couple of Vegas kids getting into it. And yeah, hard to tell from that angle if that was Riley Herbst spinning himself out or if that was Kyle Busch going and spinning him out. The two did get together earlier in the lap, so it very well could have been a revenge move from Rowdy. Hard to tell, but that was certainly not there. Yeah, 44 laps to go. 44 to go is the official tally. So yeah, still plenty of racing to go. Bell, Larson out in front. SVG, he's been good, but on this last run or two, he has not looked unbeatable, which is definitely a difference as to how it had been. So there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We're jumping up to 29 people in chat. Thank you guys for everybody that decided to spend a portion of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here with us. As we are, again, 43 laps now away from the end of this one. Again, Larson, Bell, those two trying their best to leave SVG as far behind as they possibly can. Because they know if SVG gets to him, he will not hesitate to try and move him the same way they did not hesitate to try and move him. But again, so far, the battle for the lead is a very interesting one. You had a lot of different strategies early on. It definitely seems like the strategy that SVG is on definitely prevailed here. I believe the top 18 or 19 drivers right now are all on that same strategy. And yeah, here's the oh yep, no, Kyle did just drive right into Riley Herbst there. So yeah. So in that battle we were watching, yeah, Kyle Busch. I mean, maybe he was expecting. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think Kyle just went and ran him right off the track there after getting after the earlier incident in the back straightaway. So. And say Kyle Busch, an early opening lap crash took him out of contention for any sort of actual result in this race early on. Buescher hitting pit road. We got a leader on pit road, non-playoff car. So I'm curious if this will drag everybody else to pit road along with him. So far, it's been Gregson, Custer coming to pit road. So yeah, I'm curious to see where it is. We currently have a tie in the points battle. It's Logano and Chastain tied currently for the points to try and make it to the next round of the playoffs, to make it to that Elite Eight. I would love to see Reddick get there. I would like to see 2311 at least get one car through after they looked so good in that first round, especially with Bubba. And I say Kyle Larson, one of the worst average. In fact, he has the worst average finish on road courses this year of any driver. Cody Ware, Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell on that list. Oh, that one's a gut punch to see Michael McDowell on the list of worst average finishes on road courses. He just has had no luck. I mean, that is, as a stat I totally believe, but man, does that not feel good to see a guy whose main bread and butter is road courses having one of the worst ones of the year. And Cole Custer, too fast entering pit road for Cole Custer. Cole Custer, speeding penalty. Not that he was in contention to win this one to begin with, but that is going to certainly end any shot he had at whatever strategy he's on prevailing. Again, Reddick up into the 11th place, trying to fight for that 10th place spot. Justin Haley having a really good run here up into the top 10. Congratulations, Justin Haley, on that one. But yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic day. But yeah, again, we are just waiting to see what the final 40 laps of this race are going to be. 40 laps to go this time by. It is going to be an interesting one down the stretch. As we're going to see another wave of cars coming to pit road here, and they're going to go to a, okay, not quite a side-by-side commercial, and hopefully just a short one where they talk about South Point Casino here. There we go, yep, nice short. Back to full screen racing. And here it is, Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski on the pit road. Ryan Preece sneakily up into the top 10. There we go. And now up into the top 5 goes Preece. Bowman, another one of the cars jumping onto the pit road right now. Again, you got Allmendinger, you got Keselowski, you've got Bowman, you got Ty Dillon joining them as well. Ty Dillon joins them on pit road. There we go. Allmendinger gets 4 tires and fuel, done in under 10 seconds. Keselowski just over 10 seconds for his stop. Bowman and Ty Dillon both getting their pit stops done. 10.7 for Dillon, and I believe that was a 10.2 there on Bowman's car, potentially. But yeah, again, 40 laps to go. It's going to be an interesting one all the way through. Rounding every single corner, you got to be pretty close to perfect here if you're Larson or Bell, because you know SVG is just waiting to pounce here. Again, I'm sure he would love to actually be leading this one, but the fact that he's keeping this one at least competitive has been a good change of pace so far. Alright, so there we go. And again, the 3 of them have separated themselves from McDowell and the others by almost 6 seconds between Preece in 4th and SVG in 3rd. So they have pretty well separated themselves into a 3-car battle. It is Larson, it is Bell, it is SVG. Briscoe hits pit road, so does Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs hits pit road as well. Let's see. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having let's see. Alright, so again, these the playoff bubble is going to look very different here for the next few minutes, because with Briscoe pitting, he is actually on the outside looking in, so he cannot afford a DNF. That's the big thing to keep in mind there. Man, this chair is not exactly comfortable, but we'll make it work here. And what happened here? Oh, SVG just dives it up the inside to try and get by Christopher Bell. Good move on SVG's part. SVG realized he needed to be more aggressive and waited for a mistake. Found the mistake by Bell. Bell coming into the pits here. He knows that, hey, I just got blown by SVG. No sense in trying to continue to overdrive this car, trying to keep up with him. Let's put on fresh tires sooner than him and see if we can cycle out ahead of him. So Bell coming to pit road. Priest, Suarez also hitting pit road. So some pretty good strategy here. Again, Reddick, Haley also hitting pit road. So again, a lot of drivers hitting pit road and a lot of varying strategies here. All kind of culminating right here in one final pit stop to run down the rest of the race. Again, Larson has a 2.5 second lead over SVG right now. If SVG can't close in that gap on Larson, that'll be interesting. And if Larson does get caught, the question is, what will SVG be willing to do to try and win this race? Again, he's not in the playoffs. He's not. He didn't make it through last round. So if he had made it here, he probably would be in a must-win similar to where Cindric is now. But the question is, would he have been able to pull off the win? And that is, I think, a curious question I would love to see the answer to. As Austin Cindric runs wide, that was Ryan Blaney running wide. And, we got Busher and Bell running nose to tail. Here comes Kyle Larson jumping onto pit road. SVG stays out. SVG going to be the last of the three front runners to come to pit road. Larson hit pit road. Now it's going to be SVG. McDowell about 11 seconds back. That's going to be a long way back for McDowell. Again, McDowell came to pit road. That's part of it. All right, so there we go. Again, a caution would also be an interesting situation to keep an eye on. I'm not hoping for a caution here. I think a caution would be really weird. All right, so here we go. We got Bell, who is now ahead of Busher here, rounding this corner. They are up inside the top 10 still, now that everybody's kind of cycling through. Did not see where Larson rejoined the track, but I'm guessing it's not going to be ahead of Bell, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Oh, did he really rejoin the track that far ahead? There's no way. Did Larson really rejoin the track in fourth? Was he that much better than Bell that he was able to rejoin the track? Yeah, 6 spots ahead. That's a yikes. If that's the case, Bell has very little shot at winning this thing. If the tachometer there is accurate. And now here we go. SVG finally decides that, hey, now is my time to hit pit road. I got to try and do something here. And then the question is, will this be enough? Again, SVG, Elliott, Chastain, the front three, all have yet to come to pit road for this final stop. Chastain hits pit road. Larson will take the spot away. All right, so again, we got ourselves a pretty good race going here. A very quick stop for SVG. We got Chastain and SVG both with very quick stops here. All right, Logano hits his pit stall, gets his 4 tires and fuel done. I believe Elliott might be the only driver still in the mix that has not. Him and Bubba, I think, are the only 2 real standouts that haven't. Denny Hamlin hasn't pit in a while either. Okay. There's still a few drivers in the mix who have yet to make their final pit stop here. Again, SVG versus Larson is going to be the interesting one when we come around to complete this next lap to see where they all are cycling back around to. so again, we're just chilling out here, going to commercial break. I'm going to run a quick ad and you use the bathroom, and we'll be back and ready for the run to the checkers. All right, we are back. Sorry about the delay, guys. But we are back. We got 33 laps to go. Wow, we got 60 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Again, we got Larson having a 4.5-second lead over Christopher Bell. Is insane. I can't believe he got that big of a lead there. SVG 5.5 back. That's pretty big lead as well. But yeah, Larson turning into vintage Larson here today. Just steamrolling the front of the field. Once he got clear of Bell, he must have had a really quick pit stop. I don't remember seeing how quick his pit stop was, but man, that thing must have been lightning quick to pull this one off. And here we go. We got ourselves a massive time lead and a 3-point difference in the cut line battle over there. We got Chastain 3 points above Joey Logano for that final spot in the round of 8 here. Again, Tyler Reddick 16 points back. I'm not sure where Reddick is currently in 11th, so he would need to win from this position currently to get this one, and I don't really see a path for him to win this thing. McDowell not doing great. Allmendinger and SVG both doing significantly better. But Joey Logano hanging on to a 20th place run here, almost enough to try and hang on for the win, which would be, or not for the win, but for the advancement, which would be incredible if he's able to pull that off. Again, just trying to be smooth and steady here in 20th place. All he needs to do is maintain his current position, maybe gain a spot or two. Because right now, Ross Chastain, he sits currently in the 14th position. He does have some spots ahead of him he can try and get, but it's not a lot of positions, and they are not going to come easy. So, right now, actually, sorry, I just realized Logano is 3 points behind, so Logano needs to find 3 positions before 3 net positions over Chastain. That's a little bit more tricky because now the fact that Chastain could potentially pass Bowman and get a 4th point, that means that realistically, to be safe, Logano would have to pass 4 to 5 cars because I don't remember who has the tiebreak. I know I posted it somewhere. Give me 1 second, guys. We'll have the tiebreak pulled up. All right, here we go. So it is Logano holds the tiebreak over Chastain by a significant margin. So because he has that 4th place finish at New Hampshire, so unless Chastain finishes, if Chastain were to finish 4th and they still tie, which I don't know what position or how that would end up happening, but if that were to happen, then Chastain would get the tiebreaker. 4th or better, but otherwise Logano has the tiebreaker with a 4th place finish at New Hampshire earlier this round. So all Logano has to do is find 4 positions on track. So 4 positions on track is not unbelievable or unheard of levels to come back, but that is a 4 positions though on this road course without a caution could be a very large gap to overcome. So yeah, right now Logano has about a half second ahead of him. He has Zane Smith, but then it's a full second up the road to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That's only 2 spots. Then another half second up the road is Ty Gibbs. That would be your 3rd. And then Bubba Wallace would be your 4th one. And that's a net total he would have to gain of over 3 full seconds of time on track, including passing 4 cars. I mean, that is going to be a monster effort there. Unless, and there we go. SVG just passed Christopher Bell while we were at a TV full screen commercial break. So, yay. I love missing things. And this is why we should not be missing any amount of green flag racing, at least not with full screen commercials. I understand we might need to get some side-by-side commercials in under green flag conditions, although we should be able to avoid them both, but there we go. All right, so again, we are chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. We got 37 people still hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for all 37 of you guys who have decided to spend a portion of your very valuable Sunday here with us, as we are just chilling out here, getting ready for the end of this race. Again, Larson having a 4-second lead. SVG getting getting the spot from Bell, and it looks like Bell dropped way back because he's now a full second behind SVG already. And that is going away in a hurry. So there we go. And yeah, SVG up into the second position, going to try and get this one. Let's see. All right, so I've got the Michael Jordan story. Let's see how long it takes for NASCAR to show the Vegas Brigands. So now they go to a full screen with Reddick. That's 2 different picture packages that they've gone to as they are completing a lap here. They pull up the playoff points, talking about the round of 8 battle. Reddick up into 9th place. Reddick's doing good. Again, none of this is the story we should be talking about, NBC. How did Bell get passed by Van Gisbergen? Unless I was the oblivious one and missed it before they went to commercial break. But as of right now, I have not seen them show the pass for second. Sorry, I might have said the lead, but no, it's pass for second. All right, now we're to a split view with his onboard, so that's a 3rd image package. Now we're talking about Larson. Okay, so that's 4. There's the first mention of SVG here. That's 5 5 different kind of storyline things that they've brought up. Vegas next week. I bet, and I was like, this better not get to the point of 6. I mean, this is insane. And there we go. Now they're showing Bell, so that's 6. Back to Larson, 7. And I was like, please tell me that they showed it when I was in the bathroom or something, because otherwise this has been way too long. And yeah, SVG starting to absolutely chew into Larson's lead here. All right, so there we go. Again, Chastain. Not Chastain. Larson, SVG cutting into Larson's lead. And oh no, Reddick back on pit road. Reddick and Keselowski both back on pit road. Why are they on pit road at this point? That seems really like a really weirdly timed pit stop here. All right, but yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, so again, right now, SVG chewing into this lead, down to only 1.7, so 1 3/4 seconds lead here for Larson. He's trying his best to hang on, but again, SVG, 1 lap fresher tires, made that pit stop 1 lap later. He's on a tear. He's on a mission here to try and secure this win and almost sweep the entire series of road courses this year. Only missed at the Circuit of the Americas, which you know how much he's probably going to want to win that race next year, because he is not going to want to have missed a single road course on the year. Next year, he might try and go for every single one, but at the very least, you know he's going to want that one. So, all right, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. So Kyle Larson rounding the corner, or rounding that hairpin, but SVG, he is right on top of him here. 1 second, 1.5 seconds. He has closed this gap drastically. Michael McDowell has recovered his way all the way up into the 5th position. That's incredibly good for him. We're at 26 to go. We are probably going to need another pit stop in here, actually, now that I think about it. I said that they were making their final pit stop earlier, but honestly, given the position they're in, they may need they probably do need another one, because I was thinking, Oh yeah, pit with 40 laps to go, you should be good. Road courses are way longer than that. We're gonna have another round of pit stops. And yeah, here we go. Bell coming down pit road. That one was completely on just me being an idiot. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so here we go again. 25 to go here. We're working our way through this one pretty effectively here. Alright, so again, showing this pit stop here for Christopher Bell. Oh, it was slow on the rear of the car. No. You can't have a slow pit stop here, Bell. You were already behind the 8 ball. SVG under a second between himself and Larson here. There we go. We're starting to get a really close fight going here. And Logano versus Briscoe is actually a tie matchup for the lead in this one. So Briscoe must have already come to pit road because he was like 15. He was back in 20th. That could just be where he was running, but that would be a pretty big drop off from where I remember him being. There we go. Chastain now down to only 1 point above the cut line. Alright, so again, we are chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Priest up into the top 3 is an interesting one. Again, I'm kind of curious to see how Christopher Bell with this 83 lap 83 pit stop ends up transpiring at the end of the day. Alright, so there we go. Again, SVG, he's caught the back bumper of Larson. Shane Van Gisbergen through the bus stop, all over that rear bumper of Larson, not able to actually get to it, though, to potentially nudge him out the way. It is about 40 feet away, 35 feet. Can SVG close it in? But then once they get to the oval portions, Larson's car definitely comes alive a bit more. But then through the front stretch of Kane, man, Larson gets him right up on that bumper, probably 5-6 feet away. And this one is not over by a long shot here. Both drivers, I believe, do need another pit stop. And it will be an interesting one to see where we end up at the end of all this. There we go. Michael McDowell the third. Let's go. Michael McDowell the third. Let's see. Can Michael McDowell go ahead and make this one? If McDowell gets this win, I will freak out. This will be so exciting. Let's go. So yeah, right there. And there it is. Through the hairpin corner, SVG takes the lead here at Charlotte. And SVG may have just put himself in position to win this one. Let's see. Logano on pit road. He is going to be looking for a quick stop here to try and keep himself in contention for the playoffs, to try and keep himself in that championship conversation here. Allmendinger back up into the top 10 conversation, top 10, top 11 conversation here. And there we go. Oh, okay. After Logano's pit stop, obviously, he's going to be way further back on the cut line. We're going to have to wait and see where this all starts to level out here. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Yeah, they did. Absolutely killed the Raiders today. 40-6 was the final score. I was stoked to see that. I don't necessarily think it's a great. Again, it's hard to deny it at this point that I do think that we've got a good shot. It's just a matter of if we can keep this going. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. We're at 50 people still on stream. Thank you guys for everybody that's spent a portion of your very valuable Sunday here. 22 laps to go. 22 more times around here. Alright, so there we go. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out. Just gonna clean the glasses off here while we're at a side-by-side commercial, so we will not miss much. But yeah, we are. We'll check in on the NFL games here in a second as well, because we do have other NFL games that have been going on that I kind of want to keep an eye on. I've already won, I think, all 3 fantasy leagues. I'm pretty close to 1. Let's see. Oh, Buccaneers Seahawks is a close game. There we go. 13-14, Buccaneers trailing. Cardinals are up 21-6 over the Titans, and Lions are only up 14-0 in the first half so far in their game. And the Commanders have brought it back to a 10-7 football game there. So, all right, some close matches there, as Kyle Larson and SVG have both come to pit road. So everybody's cycling through these pit stops here. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody lands at the end of all this. As oh no, never mind. I said that, but no, the things were just, I guess the names were just rotating through like a slot machine, which is ironic because we're going to Vegas next week for the Cup Series. But well, I'm not. The Cup Series is going there. I unfortunately will not be at that race. I am hoping to have some races maybe to announce for my 2026 schedule in the near future. I've got at least one race I'm kind of circling as a one I'm interested in, but there we go. Okay, and let's see. How are the Yankees doing? Are they still getting creamed? Oh yeah. Syrup Birds 11-0 again. 11-0 currently against the New York Yankees. Let's go. And we're coming back from commercial break, so you guys have not missed much. Again, Larson's still out in front of the field, I believe. No, SVG out in front of the field. Larson came to pit road. So Larson did come to pit road there while the leaderboard was all screwy. But it did say that SVG had as well, and it appears like he has not. Considering the fact that he has a 22-second lead, I would hope he hasn't. Alright, so there we go. All right, so there we go. 19 laps to go, and yeah, again, SVG appears to be. Oh, and say Brad Keselowski immediately just behind the wall, no fight there, just goes straight behind one of the safer barriers and pulls it into the kind of back area and is going to try and see if he can find a way back to pit road here. So Brad Keselowski done for the day. But yeah, here we go. Again, Logano now 6 points ahead of Chastain. Now Logano just needs to find a way to coast while Chastain needs to get on it as, yeah, he has got a lot of work to do here. All right, here we go. SVG comes down to pit road. He will cycle back out behind Christopher Bell. So SVG will have some work to do here. But yeah, here we go. Again, watching SVG's pit stop. Oh! Austin Dillon gets in the way as he's exiting the pit box, causing SVG to have a slightly slower entrance into the pit box. And yeah, say luckily that didn't happen on exit, because if that happened on exit, he may have spun the tires and might have killed a little bit of life in those tires. The good thing is we have a really good battle for the lead here because we've got two drivers. We got Larson and Bell, both within 1 second of each other, and SVG is going to be ticked off and hopefully on fire here because he is 3 seconds back and is coming on strong here. Alright, so there we go. Again, Larson and Bell just running 1 and 2 here. And is that Logano? Oh, wait, no. Wait. Oh, for whatever reason, I thought we were on board with Larson when I looked up for a second. But no, that's Busch Light car. That's Chastain's on board. But yeah, that is Logano out ahead of Chastain. So Chastain, he sees his ticket to the Final Four right ahead of him. All he needs to do is nudge Logano a little too hard, and he could potentially have a spot in the playoffs, and we know Logano would do it back to him. So, but I guess the question is, how good of a person is Chastain? Does he feel too bad? Would he feel too bad if he wins that way? As they go to yet another side-by-side commercial here, 17 laps to go. And again, so far, Larson looking a little unchallenged here so far, but again, this race is by no means over here. Alright, so here we go. Again, Bell trying to do everything he can to stay close to Larson here. Problem is Larson has that track position out ahead of him right now. SVG is starting to cut into both of their leads, so I am curious when it becomes potentially a 3-car battle for the front of the field. How hard are all 3 drivers going to fight? Only 16 laps to go. So 16 more shots around this one. It's going to be interesting as, Chastain lost Did Chastain lose a spot to Chase Elliott, or did Logano pick up some speed and find that spot? Because if so, that'll make it a little harder for Chastain to try and punt Logano for the playoff spot, as there's now a car in between them. And outside of the hairpin, I don't think you're ever going to be close enough to punt a car into another car to exact a revenge. Nor should you be punting two cars en route to trying to transfer. But yeah, here we go. Elliott to the inside of Logano. Elliott forcing Logano to run wide. Logano up the hill trying to make it work. Not able to get back in front of Elliott. Now has Chastain right on his... Going to have Chastain on his bumper here shortly. Let's go ahead and skip around to ads here once again for you guys. We are chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. But yeah, the battle for the lead. SVG has caught Christopher Bell. The battle is on for second here, right behind the leader of Kyle Larson. Again, Bell doing everything he can to try and hold back the 88, but here we go. He opens up the door, allowing the 88 through, and he's going to try and maybe he's just going to try and, let's see if he can follow him. Maybe apprentice his way all the way up to the back bumper of Larson. The two of them can get together and do that. Now the SVG's up to second. Can he catch Larson, and how fast can he do it? Because Larson's got one car in between himself, SVG and Bell. And there we go. 66 moves out of the way, and it is now SVG on the mission here. As there we go. Chastain finally passes Joey Logano. Logano has 6 points over Chastain, though. Oh, wait, nope, sorry. That was a different yellow car. Must have been like the 34 Gilliland or something. Yeah, but yeah, Logano 6 spots. Now five spots between Logano and Chastain is the difference in making it or not making it through the playoffs here. So there we go. Down the back straightaway here once again, and Chastain allowing guys like AJ Allmendinger to sneak their way on through. Again, 14 laps to go. I'm curious to see. Bell is just absolutely vaporized, but SVG is caught in the back bumper of the 5. Looking up the inside into the hairpin corner. SVG trying. Oh, and Larson trying his best to full contact him off the racetrack. Kyle Larson's taking no prisoners here. All right, we're going to turn on the clips because I should have been clipping this for a couple laps now. All right, but yeah, here we go. Oh, man, contact through the bus stop. SVG versus Kyle Larson. Are you kidding me? SVG retakes the lead here over Kyle Larson. Christopher Bell right back into this fight with the amount of contact here. What does Kyle Larson do here? Into the front stretch chicane. Larson to the back bumper of... he tries to make SVG overshoot. SVG near perfect through the front stretch chicane. Larson continues to try and apply the pressure. Now looking up the inside into turn 1. And Bell right there ready to pounce as these two continue to beat and bang. Larson now to the race lead. Oh no, SVG's car, I don't know if it's hurt or what, but he slowed down there significantly as Christopher Bell also made it through that hole. And now it's Kyle Larson out in front of the field. Bell to second, SVG in third. 3 cars under a blanket for the race lead. So yeah, I should have been clipping this a lot earlier because that battle between those two was insane there for a lap and a half. But there we go. SVG moves right on by Bell. I think Bell realizes he doesn't necessarily have the car to keep up with Larson. He might be able to get a win if these two get to fighting with each other like that again. Just absolutely door slamming and Kyle Larson going full contact mode. Meanwhile, SVG, I think he and Larson both have the speed to go out here and win this race on pace, but they also have the highest likelihood to take each other out of this thing. So here we go, down into the front stretch chicane, this time with no car to bounce off of for Larson. He goes in there. He's got SVG following close behind him. And SVG just smooth like butter through that front stretch chicane. Closes that gap in significantly on Kyle Larson. Larson, a fair road course racer in his own respects, but say SVG is just on that another level here. But yeah, right now Larson just hanging on through this one. I don't know how you pull this one off if you're Larson, because I think SVG is gonna get another shot at you, and I don't know if he'll leave much behind this time, because he learned last time when he was a little bit more patient with you and tried to give you room, you absolutely chopped the nose off of his car. So we'll have to wait and see. Bumper to bumper going into the bus stop is gonna be fun. 12 laps to go, 12 more times around. We've got drivers bumper to bumper here. Down the back straightaway, SVG totally launches it into the bus stop. Gets right ahead of, completely clears Larson going into the bus stop there. And SVG clear in front of Larson here. And now it's going to be on Larson to make a bold, aggressive, borderline stupid, probably too stupid move to try and win this one. Let's see. Into the front stretch chicane. There's a lap car in Cody Ware, which kind of slows up both cars there, SVG and Larson. Larson not able to make a retaliation move there to try and bump him back. Meanwhile, Chastain does get to the inside of Joey Logano in the hairpin corner. Again, Logano currently he has 2 points above Chastain, with Chastain 1 spot ahead of him. So Logano either needs to lose 2 spots or Chastain needs to find a way to pass 2 more cars. Sorry, 3 more cars minimum. 3 more cars minimum. There we go. 11 laps to go. That is going to be tough to pass 3 cars in 11 laps is enough if you have enough speed. I don't think Chastain's had that kind of speed to just outright pass cars like that. We'll have to wait and see here. But this one, it's been an interesting one. Here comes Logano down pit road. Oh, Logano's going to throw a Hail Mary here. Logano on pit road, going to be trying to make this one happen. Oh, no. Logano throwing on 4 fresh tires, and he is going to throw the Hail Mary while leading the race. He's potentially going to throw this one away. Or not leading the race, but leading the point battle. He must have been scared that he thinks Chastain had the speed in his back pocket to go ahead and make this one happen, but oh, man. That is going to be insane here as Joey Logano now 10 points back. He needs to find 10 cars on track that he can pass with his fresh tires. Now, fresh tires will make this a little easier, but finding 10 cars to pass is still finding 10 cars to pass. And especially, it's a really risky move to have made when you were in position for the win already. All right, so let's see. SVG, Larson, Bell, Busher, Priest, the front 5. Again, Reddick still holding on to that fastest lap award, which is pretty crazy to think about. Again, the fact that he still has that fastest lap that he set hours ago. And with 10 laps to go, SVG has the lead, and it looks like he is going to try and just take off from Kyle Larson. A 20-second gap between Larson and Bell. Larson in second, Bell in third. A 20-second gap between them. That is insane. And there we go. I'll turn off the recording for now. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We got 59 people hanging out in chat. Again, feel free to let me know. You guys think SVG is going to win this race? And more notably, do you think Logano's strategy is going to pay off here of pitting and trying to run back up to the field? Because I think that's a bold choice. And I don't know if it pays off for him. All right, 9 laps to go. 9 more times around here. All right, so there we go. 9 laps to go here. The interesting battle for me is going to be this battle for the points position because, again, I don't know why Logano threw the Hail Mary when he did because he had the position. Unless he was that concerned that Chastain had the speed needed to gain the spots, and he felt like, hey, if I have fresh tires, I can gain more spots than Chastain. Or if he felt like his tires were fading that bad, but again, that is just a really bad spot to be in here. And here we go. Did none of them have enough tires to make it? Here comes Larson to pit road. I mean, maybe Larson just thought that, hey, there's no way I'm beating SVG on even tires. Let's try adding fresh tires to the situation. Again, just some weird strategy calls here. Again, unless maybe I'm just not seeing the big picture and they all need to make another pit stop. I thought when they made their last one, because their last one for most of them came around lap 90, which is right about 20, 25 to go, which they've been able to do in the stages. Actually, no, they haven't done 20 in the stages yet. Well, some of them did 20 in the first stage. They did like 24. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the result is going to be here. So here we go again. Larson trying to make sure he's the first one to pit road of that bunch, and he gets back on. He's going to be back on track right behind Christopher Bell here, or he's going to try and get on track as close behind Christopher Bell as he can. Yes, that's the good thing about the big gaps of the road courses. So again, Logano is still 7 points back here. There we go. This is the way NASCAR should be at every track. I don't know if every track, I think then you, get into too much of the same thing where it's like, okay, it's good. And I love strategy racing. I know some other people, looking at my phone because I was texting with them earlier about how this race, say about how this race needs to go back to the oval next year. Looking at you, Eli, if you're for whatever reason watching this. But again, a phenomenal race at a road course. Yeah, it's not been edge of your seat every single lap, but when you got to the end of the race, you have a lot of different strategy options and a lot of drivers throwing strategy Hail Marys like what we saw with Joey Logano pitting, and now he's 8 points behind Chastain after he was 2 points to the good. He needs to find 8 more spots, as Logano does own the tiebreaker. He needs 8 spots. He's got fresher tires, so he has tires to try and make it happen, but he needs to get, I believe, to about 15th. I think 15th, assuming Chastain stays in 13th. I think 15th, 16th will be right about that 8. Will be right about that money spot as to where he needs to finish behind Chastain to still advance. I don't know if Logano has that much speed in him unless we start seeing some more cars coming to pit road, which could absolutely flip this strategy. But I do, I've been one of the biggest supporters of the Roval. I think it's a great event. I would love to see it continue next year. I've been there in person for a road course race. AJ Allmendinger got the win there when I was there. So I've been there in person. I've supported it in person. Don't live particularly close, so it's not the easiest thing for me to support in person. But I've supported it. I've supported it vocally multiple times here on stream. I think this road course is great and should remain on the schedule. If you're looking to cut road courses, this would not be the one I would be looking at. I'd be looking at cutting or rotating in and out some other road courses, like maybe swapping in and out Road America and Chicago Street Course, since they're both kind of Midwest venues. Now, I don't know how you would do that contractually, because obviously contract things make things weird. Here we go, Josh Berry trying to make a diving move to try and knock Chastain down a spot. Chastain trying to battle back, door to door, fender to fender. And there we go. Josh Berry makes the move on Ross Chastain. Chastain, that's going to be one of those spots that you needed him to drop down. Here comes Reddick. Reddick trying to put Ross Chastain in another spot further back. And he moves over for him. Here comes Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs trying to take another spot. Oh, wait. Yeah, these battles are for position, right? Yeah, here we go. Here comes, or are these guys a lap down because they pit already or something? Because I'm not seeing any change in the points when he gets passed, but Chastain's not a lap down, and I don't see any reason why those guys would have been a lap down. Yeah, okay, so Berry and Reddick were for position. Ty Gibbs was not. But Ty Gibbs is on the lead lap. Okay, yep, there we go. Now it's updating. Okay, there we go. So Chastain, 5 points above Logano. That gap is starting to shrink here. And again, Logano needs to get a couple more spots. He needs 5 more spots. He needs to finish 19th or better with Chastain's current performance level. 19th or better. Or maybe I did that math wrong. Maybe it's right around 20th. If he gets to 20th, he should be close. Again, he's currently 24th. He needs 5 positions. So yeah, I think 19th would be right about right then. So yeah, it is going to be an intense fight here down the way here. Let's see. Alright, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Apparently Logano not exactly happy about getting passed by Todd Gilliland a minute or two ago. 4 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval. This race is going to be insane down the stretch. Again, this strategy racing is insane. Again, the fact that Logano is pulling this one off, I'm kind of curious to see. Larson's catching up to the back bumper of Bell for the 2nd position. I don't know if Larson has enough to catch Van Gisbergen in 4 laps, but Larson throwing a Hail Mary attempt. If Van Gisbergen were to have some sort of tire issue, it'd be a much closer battle here. But there we go. Logano round the outside of the 42, 3 points away. 3 points away for Joey Logano, and Logano trying to advance here. He needs 3 points. He needs to find 3 more spots on track, and or he needs Chastain to lose 3 additional spots on track. And this is not going to be an easy one. Hey, Mike, how's it going? And yes, SVG is crushing this one. Up into the he passes the 50 lap lead mark. Kyle Larson, though, did lead 27 here in the late stages of the race. Ultimately threw a kind of Hail Mary after getting passed by SVG. Came to pit road hoping for maybe to catch a lucky caution or something. And just whatever it was, he did not get it. And yeah, right now we're watching the points battle here. Logano 3 points behind Chastain. If he cannot get above that line, Logano's championship fight will end here at the Charlotte Roval, barring the inspection line, which happened 1 year ago. Logano ended 13 points below the cut line, which ironically is the gap above the cut line he entered today with. But Bowman's disqualification in post-race tech allowed for him to move on. So again, 3 points is all Logano needs, but the problem is I don't see too many cars out ahead of him, although the camera angle is not great around here. That is going to be something to watch for. I don't see any cars behind Chastain either immediately in the immediate view. So it is going to be an interesting one. 3 spots. You need Chastain hanging on to this one by 3 positions. 3 positions is all Chastain is holding on to this one by. If he loses 2 positions, he's in by 1. If he loses 3, he loses it on the tiebreakers, as Logano will hold the tiebreaker in almost any realistic scenario here. So again, Bowman, the next car for position for Logano. Bowman will be the next car for position for Logano. I don't see any Bowman out in front of him, so we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. But right now, it is not looking good for Joey. And here we go. Kyle Larson getting up to the back bumper of the 20. 2 laps to go. 2 more times around. So only 2 laps left. What is going to be the result here as they are crossing each other over, heading down through turn 1 and 2 here. Again, Bell hanging on to this second place position. Kyle Larson trying to get it on somewhat fresher tires here. Larson on 4-lap fresher tires than Christopher Bell. Here we go. Again, 3 points. Again, I can finally see a car out in front of Logano. I can see 1 car out ahead of Logano. That is going to be, that hopefully is going to be Bowman. If Logano can get to Bowman, that's 1 spot. Then he'll just need Chastain to lose 2 somehow. And here comes Bubba Wallace behind Chastain. Is that one of them? If that's one, that could be a spot here. To the inside goes Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is going to take a spot from Chastain. Chastain to the back bumper of the 23. Bubba Wallace, despite being in a must-win for himself, is might have just played a critical factor there in Chastain. Chastain has another car on his bumper ready to go. Logano needs 2 spots remaining. 2 more spots, and he's got Denny Hamlin chasing down. He's got 2 cars right behind him. It's all going to be down to Chastain's defense holding off Todd Gilliland and Denny Hamlin here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also in the picture. And then right behind Stenhouse is going to be the 22 Logano. There goes the 34. The 34 is going to advance his position. 1 point the difference. Chastain versus Denny Hamlin. Gonna be battling it out here. Oh! Wait, is that a flat tire for SVG up top? No, that's just a tire. Might have just been some tire smoke as he was getting up onto the banking. For a second, that looked bad, but nope, it is all good. SVG, final lap, final time, down the back straightaway, into the bus stop. No competition or contest here. Larson gets by Bell, but it's going to be too little too late. As Chastain comes to take his own white flag, he will have 1 more time around. He will have to defend a full lap against Denny Hamlin, who is all over his rear bumper. If Denny passes him, that is Chastain's championship fight over with. Joey Logano would be in, and Chastain would be out. And here we go. It is going to be SVG wins the race. That storyline is done. It is just down to, can Chastain outduel Denny Hamlin here down the stretch? So Denny Hamlin versus Ross Chastain. We saw this battle on the racetrack when they were just crashing each other a while back. And now up the inside, Denny Hamlin trying to take this one away from Ross Chastain. And that there puts it tied. That should be a tie, I believe. Yep, that is a tie. Right now, Ross Chastain is tied for the cut line. The last lap is underway. The leader's already taken the checkers. Chastain needs to find 1 spot. The 1 spot being the double 1 car ahead of him. Car number 11, Denny Hamlin. Chastain needs to do something to get away from this 1-1 tie here. As they go ahead, Allmendinger ends up crossing the finish line in reverse. That is hilarious. To the back bumper! Chastain does it! He spins out the 11. He's going to try to reverse, but he loses 2 spots in doing so. And Chastain just ended his own playoff run. Chastain just ended his own playoff run, wrecking the 11 in the process. And Ross Chastain just lost this one. What do you mean this isn't live? This literally just happened. I mean, yeah, it's not at the track, which I never quoted as saying. But yeah, here we go. Watching this one back again. Chastain into the corner, takes out Denny Hamlin for that final spot and immediately shoves it in reverse, but loses 2-3 spots there. Logano passes him, and that is ultimately going to end Ross Chastain's bid for a championship. Chastain sent it as deep as he could. He knew he needed to take out Denny Hamlin to get there. He does so, but in doing so, slows himself down just enough to stop there. Oh, man, that is insane. Again, Chastain crosses the line in reverse. Chastain doing everything he could to try and get that one. But Denny Hamlin, that one didn't matter. Joey Logano sneaks through and manages to get the playoff spot. Joey Logano advances by 4. And SVG wins his 5th road course race in a row. Next March, he will attempt to tie Jeff Gordon as he will take to the road course in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas, where he will try and go for 6 straight road course wins and tie the record for most in NASCAR history. So, if you just came for the end of the race, that was insane. Please leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. Obviously, the race is over. We're going to stay live for a little while longer because, 1, I want to hear from the driver. I want to be able to see the drivers' interviews. And 2, I want to be able to cover it if there is a fight. But, yeah, again, if you guys just came for the race finish, that was insane. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. And, again, I want Carson Hocevar to win his first race. Well, he's been pretty good at the mile and a half, so Vegas next week is a pretty good shot for it. I think that would be a hilarious place for him to get it. But yeah, again, he just never had a race winning caliber car, but I would love to see Carson Hocevar get a win here sooner rather than later. I mean, him, Ty Gibbs especially, because it feels like it's been kind of one coming here for a bit. So again, there we go. They've got SVG getting ready to punt. He's going to autograph and then punt the rugby ball up over the... is he going to punt it? Does he punt it? Yeah, he's going to kick it up into the stands. And, the autographed rugby ball up into the stands for one lucky fan. Go ahead and grab. And, again, SVG on the front stretch, celebrating a win here at the road courses. Almost sweeps the road courses this year. Literally wins all of them, bar 1. Circuit of the Americas, the same place that he will go next March to try and complete the sweep by, or complete the record by tying him. And there we go. Joey Logano climbing out the car. He's all smiles. Ross Chastain, I think he knows his fate, but he's just waiting to probably hear it. I don't know if the team has told him that the move wasn't enough. I think he knows in his heart that it isn't enough, but we're just gonna have to wait and see, and I'm curious to hear it. So you don't have you do not have you don't have Denny over there in his face yelling at him yet, so a little bit of an improvement. And here we go. Yep, talking with Ross Chastain. Let's see. Out by 4 points, 2 mistakes on the day. And, he needed to have one spot. He just needed to find one position there. And, just could not find it. Comes home 21st is the final position. And will it fail to advance? Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Restart the whole day. It took much more out of me. Speeding on pit road. I went to the end of pit road and did not turn. If I had more room, just trying to get to the yellow line, just completely started the downfall of the day there, and then fell off on the pit road pit stall, and then and then to third, and then just unforced errors. I want to hear him talk about the move on Denny Hamlin's the big one. Health of our teammates, the engine, everybody making the round for jockey, and then they take the subtitles down, which of course is great. He finished second at Atlanta and Nashville. Again, yeah, I think intermediate track next week at Las Vegas. Not predicting it or anything, but that would be a good shot for him to try and get it done. I believe it's the only intermediate left on the season. We got that, Talladega, Martinsville, and then final one. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, so again, that is an insane finish to an insane weekend here at the. Because last night we had a long hold period because we were trying to figure out exactly what the score was between Sammy Smith, and a couple of other drivers for where they all finished in the points, and then today to have it end like that. I mean, that was insane right there. Again, as per usual, we will go through the full finishing order as well. Actually, while he finishes up the interview, we'll go ahead and run through them really quick here. So again, as we mentioned, Shane Van Gisbergen getting the win. Kyle Larson does fight all the way back up to second after he made an additional pit stop. Comes home 15 seconds shy of the checkered flag. Then you got Bell comes home third. Chris Buescher fourth. Fifth place, Michael McDowell. Top 5 for Michael McDowell. Let's go. Ryan Preece sixth. Hey, not bad for the Connecticut kid. Then you got Daniel Suarez seventh. 8th for Chase Elliott. 9th, AJ Allmendinger. 10th, Tyler Reddick. Then you got William Byron 11th. 12th was Ty Gibbs. 13th is where we find Ryan Blaney. Chase Briscoe, who had a little bit of an up-down day and at times had a couple of times where he was near the cut line, but ends up advancing somewhat comfortably in 14th position. Bubba Wallace coming home in the 15th position. One of those last passes that really kind of started the downfall for Chastain. Josh Berry, 16th. 17th, Todd Gilliland. 18th, Alex Bowman. 19th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And rounding out the top 20 was Joey Logano. As we just mentioned, Chastain 21st. 22nd for Cole Custer. 23rd, Denny Hamlin. 24th, Zane Smith. 25th will be where we find Justin Haley. And 26th, the last car in the lead lap, John Hunter Nemechek. Ty Dillon, the first car, one lap down in 27th. 28th for Noah Gragson. 29th for Carson Hocevar. And rounding out the top 30, Riley Herbst, who had a pretty good qualifying run despite a bit of a scary situation in qualifying, manages to come home with the top 30 at least. But yeah, overall a pretty rough day for him starting from the rear. Then you had Eric Jones 31st. 32nd was Austin Dillon. 33rd, you've got Josh Bilicki in the 66 car. And Cody Ware in 34th will be the final car, one lap down. Kyle Busch finishes 35th place, 9 laps off the pace. Then you got Brad Keselowski and Austin Cindric, who will round out your 37-car field. Brad Keselowski in 36th, 20 laps off the pace. And Austin Cindric, 22 laps off the pace, rounding out your 37-car field here tonight. So looks like they are not going to talk to Denny Hamlin, at least not initially. So we will go ahead and end off the stream here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. And until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video, live stream, whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye!